to tell us about the slide you prepared for the rest of the show?
Yes. So basically, Lazio, there's been this whole talk. I've been wanting to talk about it for a few weeks now, but this is when we finally got the chance. Is Lazio, should we keep the current cycle or should we restart? And this essentially means, should Inzaghi and Tari be replaced? Because obviously, you can't really replace Lotito. It's his team. I mean,
bro, look at him in the middle there. Oh my God, you guys know who he looks like?
Who?
Penguin from Batman. Bro, no cap. I'm gonna find a picture. You go on, please.
All right. So essentially, the context is the whole year Inzaghi, his contract's running out in June, right? And we had no news regarding renewal until like recently. Now, apparently, it's supposed to be coming, but it's still nothing official. And the thing is, which bothers me, is imagine like your players in Lazio right now, especially the new players, you're trying to integrate to this team, and you don't even know if a manager will be there next year. Like, think about Muric. He's trying to be...
No, I don't want to think about Muric.
All right, sure, but
fine.
Just imagine... All right, Pereira, whatever. Just a player like Escalante, great, talented South American player, comes in Lazio, great team, and he doesn't know if the same manager will be there next year. Like, I think it caused a lot of discomfort for the players, maybe, and they can't concentrate or be as committed as they could. And then going on about it, the results are very good with Inzaghi, but he's very inflexible. He can only play, he only ever played one formation. I don't think he ever in his life started a game without a 3-5-2. I don't think he ever did. And it's good results, but I think it's exploitable in the long run, maybe. And then
if he's gotten good results with that system as well, it means that he has confidence in his own like A players and B in his system. Because there's a lot of like managers that as soon as they get a couple of bad results, they kind of shit themselves and they change. We're like, I'm gonna go to they're judging me. I'm gonna go to 4 at the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. No, but I'll go into more about that later. But then the last talking about Taris, so our director of football, I guess, is like a position for most clubs. But like for Marotta, for Inter, that kind of guy. So essentially, the last 2 transfer windows under him have been an absolute failure. And I'm gonna reiterate this by the failure to sign a competent left back or like just a competent defense in general in the last 5 years. There is Penguin.
If that's not Lotito, I don't know who is. Look at that. Sorry, let's go on. Back to the serious stuff.
So essentially, in the last 5 years, especially for the left back position, every single time we buy a budget left back, hoping we say, okay, it's a good replacement for Lulic or a good backup because they're cheap. But they're always terrible. They're always shit. And the problem is now Lulic is really old. He's not very good anymore. He just got injured for like an entire season. And we don't really have anyone good in the left back position.
And also players like Radu. Like, with all the respect, but why do you still rely on Lulic, Radu, Parolo?
Parolo, the saddest thing about Parolo is, this season he never plays as a center back. He plays every game as a center back or as a right back, Parolo. I don't get it, man.
It's the Cristante special.
Yes. And now Marozic, what the worst thing is? Guess who our best right center back is? Except for Luis Felipe.
Ramos.
It's Marozic!
Okay.
It's Marozic! The last 2 games, no mistakes, no losing the ball, passing the ball forward. I'm like, holy shit. This is like a new dimension to Lat, so I couldn't believe my eyes. Anyway,
bro.
And now going back onto, on schedule, the team is very old now. So if I look at Milan's average age, and I think it was like 24, so like the lower end of 24, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
Lazio, 28.6. I think it's probably one of the oldest in Serie A.
I've got it right here. We're going to talk about this next week, especially. But the average age for Milan was 24.6 years. For Lazio, is 29.4.
Oh, that sounds 29. I got 28.6 from Transfer Market. So
I think one is the squad and the other one is the starters. So
mine's
played.
Our starters. I was about to move on. Like from our squad's 28.6, our starters are even older. Where our youngest starter is Luis Felipe, who's 24, and he's injured all the time.
Yeah.
After Luis Felipe, it's Correa 26. Like, where's the young player? I think he's 26, 27. I can check.
Already?
Bro, he's been here for ages
I
now.
thought he
Yeah.
was much younger.
He's 27.
26.
Oh, he's 26. Yeah, 26. Yeah, he in Korea 26. Milinkovic has been here forever, man. That's why I think it's a miracle he's still here. And I wouldn't mind. Like, I think we should probably sell him this summer. He's been here for so many seasons now. I think it's time we make money. And it's good for both parties. I think he wants to move on to maybe a more important club, and time for us to make some money. And anyway, now going on to the context, the race for top 4 is still on. So that's just in a good spot. I think if we win our game in hand, we're -3 from Atalanta. The problem is we do not have a head-to-head to them because we beat them 3-1, but they beat us 4-1. So kind of unfortunate. I've been looking at the league results. I think I'm going to start about both sides of the argument. So if we should start a new cycle or keep it. So for keeping it, just look at the league results. For the Lotito era, I don't think we've ever been this stable. And also we got Champions League, which we never got. Well, we got once before.
I don't think a lot of teams in general have ever been this stable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then look at how we won 3 trophies as well. Like we've been, we also went to the final once and lost of Coppa Italia. We like in Europa League, we did okay. We've been doing pretty well.
You got a crap group this year for Champions League, and then you got Bayern, and you still, at least in the group, you held up your own.
Yeah.
What
So
do you think
overall,
it would take, Jonathan, to like actually make that final jump? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's why I think, like, some people, I do not think we should restart, because if you think about it, look at how many teams try to start a new project and just failed. And most of the time it fails because it's very difficult to make something that works. And in Lazio, we tried so often to make something that works, and finally we have it. So maybe in this position, sure, our team is very old. We've not been playing very well. Immobile is washed up. But I still think Inzaghi should be the coach we try to go on with the long term, because we know that he can actually consistently get those results, and he can develop players, because he did develop Milinkovic. He even developed Correa in some way. He developed Luis Felipe.
Yeah.
So we know he can make players better, and we know he gets the results.
Yeah.
So I'd keep him. And for the next step, and then Tare, I do not know if we should keep Tare or not. Probably, but he definitely needs to shake things up, because the last 2 windows have been horrendous. Although all the windows before were fantastic. So I'm being very hypocritical. Following him out for this.
If I can say something real quick, I think with Lazio, I feel like they've hit a wall in the sense that I don't think you're ever going to go like top. I don't think you're with this team. I don't think you're ever winning a title, but you're never going to get out of Europe. I think you're going to be a stable 4th to 7th, maybe 3rd to 7th. I think that's sustainable.
I agree, and that's why I think the fans, like, some fans are greedy and they want more, but we have to be realistic here.
The perfect metaphor is the one Arda uses, the one of the car. Can you repeat it for us, please?
This guy is the best. Okay, listen up. So there's a small parking space, okay, and you just got in. You're trying to get out, but the space is so small. You just gotta go forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, and eventually you'll get out. But it just takes a bit of a long time. You could reverse it completely, go on the sidewalk, and then fuck off. But then, that'll be illegal. That'll be a bit of a
break
change.
your car. You break your car.
You risk.
Yeah, it's risky. You lose stuff along the way.
Exactly. Listen, it's only Luca who doesn't appreciate my little metaphors. You know what? Okay, everybody, hashtag fuck Luca for not being here. Honestly,
actually, you know what you asked me about? What's the next step? I think it's actually more interesting. It's a more interesting question. Should we keep the cycle? What's the next step? You're right. Actually, that's what the question we should be asking. What's next for Lazio? Personally, I think we do need to rebuild in a small way some of our team. Milinkovic will probably be sold, and if you think about that's a very key player. So I think a lot about how we play will probably change with that. And then I think Immobile, I've been saying it for 3 years now. Enough is enough. He needs to go. I think it's impossible now, but he can't be our starting striker anymore.
I think
he can't.
With the deal you gave him last year, I think you've tied your fate to him.
I said it back then.
Okay, but imagine this, though. Imagine from an outside perspective, the Golden Boot winner, and we're saying, no, you shouldn't start next year. Isn't that crazy?
This has happened before as well. Maybe a similar situation. You look at us in 2010, where of course we won everything, and then the year after we were so decent. I think we got second, then in 2012, like the whole team crumbled. We refused to get new players in. Even Milito fell off a cliff. He went from probably like top 3 strikers in Europe to not even in the top 20. And I think that's the risk that Lazio is taking at this moment. But at the same time, if you look, it took us 9 years to get back to, let's say, top form, and maybe 3 or even 4 different projects.
And Inter's got more money than us. Like, that's how difficult it is. So I really think we've really fucked up in keeping Immobile. I think he was a player we had to bank out on, take 50 million, whatever they gave us, because I really believe that even like Caicedo as a starter is good. Like, I don't think it changes the Lazio that much. He scores penalties as well. I mean, he's got that, and go ahead, Amy.
The thing, Immobile relies a lot on his pace.
Yeah,
and the first thing that goes.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was always saying. Why I want to get rid of him. You know, he's 31 now, man. He's old. Like,
I'm never gonna forget that goal against Napoli, though. That thing where Ronaldo chopped 3 defenders.
Yeah, he was insane. I'm gonna say he was insane, but we need to look at the long term. Already now, this guy isn't working as a striker anymore. What do you expect for the next few years? Where we're going to be objectively weaker because we're going to lose players, or players are they're not in their form anymore. Like, you have to look about it objectively. We're probably going to be weaker in the next years, and that's why we need to start replacing.
Probably. Right. I don't know, but maybe changing you were mentioning before Tare, because Inter had 9 years in which it was all a process. But Amy, we can argue that the real turning point was Marotta when he arrived in 2018. You were already having a change with Spalletti, but Marotta really brought in those players that now are key for Inter. So maybe, Inzaghi, he's doing his decent job, and the stats here shows some, consistency. But maybe, it needs a different management of the sports area, which can bring players maybe different than Murici or Escalante or Andreas Pereira that are just not useful to improve.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing is we're getting these players who are expensive for starters. They're expensive, it's a lot for Lazio. They're not young, and they're not even that good. That's the problem. If it was a young player, sure, I don't know. It's very worrying when you look at the team. I don't see anyone there who you say, okay, I know this guy can play at Lazio for like the next, let's say 10 years consistently. You can't say that about anybody. And sure, it's very unrealistic. But for example, Radu did that, and you can't. Well, Radu played even more than that. But I'm just saying that there's like nobody young in Lazio right now. Milan, so many people in the starting 11 are still in their early years.
Emiliano, check private chat. Sorry, Johnny, go on.
Yeah, but that's. About Immobile, I wanted to ask, what does this mean for the national team? He's on a goal drought. Hopefully, Mancini is gonna realize if he wants to get out of the group or win something, he should start Belotti.
So I just find this crazy, because this is the thing, because I don't watch him in and out, but it still sounds crazy to me to think about this Golden Boot winner who's not that good for you. Do you think you could actually get anything out of Belotti right now, like selling him? Is it like realistically something you could do?
Or Immobile, you mean?
Immobile. What did I say?
You said Belotti by accident. Fine.
I
still think we could probably sell him. The question is if he would want to go, and if a club would, because we're paying him like 3.5 million a year now. Big contract.
Wait, 3 million a year?
3.5.
That is, well, Calhanoglu was like 7, bro.
Yeah, still, you're Milan, we're Lazio. I mean, and Calhanoglu is still a much better player than Immobile in his own right. Like, sure, Luis Alberto, we're underpaying him. I do not know why he renewed, but that's a different discussion. Immobile, I don't know. I think we kind of screwed ourselves. Caicedo's old as well. This summer we need to sign a young striker.
Yeah, but Immobile is 31, right? And after the past year, the Golden Boot of last year, it looks like, as you said, Johnny, now he will forever be at Lazio. And I don't know, if we think about teams that could be interested in Immobile, who would you guys say? Because it's not also that easy. Because I think he really likes and thinks that Lazio is he doesn't want to go away from Lazio. So
I think it would be too risky to get someone like Scamacca. You know what I mean? Like, I think in a certain way, Immobile scores you 20 goals per season every year.
Mhm.
You know, even if he's on his worst day, he'll score 20 a season. It's hard to replace someone like that, and it's hard to replace someone who's so loved, at least in some way, by the fans.
I don't know,
So-
Scamacca. I don't know if
Who-
I'd like
who
it.
would
Like,
be-
Scamacca.
who's
He
your
picks up
dream
a ball
player?
and he shoots. Did you guys watch Scamacca?
Yeah, he always
I
does
love
that.
him
doesn't
super
he?
gym. Every time he gets the ball, as soon as it's opening, he lets it fly. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry, Johnny. Who's your like dream realistic player from Serie A? What the hell am I doing?
From Serie A, that's very difficult.
Bro. Okay, sorry. Yeah, go for it.
That's fine. From Serie A, dream player. I mean, honestly, I do not think Scamacca would be the best. Because I do not think he would work well in the system we have, or the striker still has to play a bit with others. I have no idea. I think
if Caputo was younger, he would be the perfect replacement.
I like personally, I love someone the style of Dzeko. So that kind, like a very technical player who
He's also big.
Who's also big. Yeah.
You ever heard of
If
Morici?
you want, we can give you Bernardeschi. He has many roles he can move in.
Well, Mandzukic as well.
So Mandzukic would have been good, but I don't know. Now he's looking terrible. I would have said Mandzukic like.
I can't tell if he's good or not because he doesn't play, does he?
Last summer, I would have said I would have said bring Mandzukic right now, but I don't know. Right now, he's never playing. Someone said Vlahovic. Vlahovic would be amazing, bro, but.
Vlahovic is expensive. Right, guys. Well, especially
and
Mr.
about Vlahovic,
Mr. Penguin here.
About Vlahovic, I said it last time. I still think that Fiorentina want really to build the team and the future on him. So, I mean, I don't think that if they offer 100 million, Commisso will be like, I don't know. But I think they rely a lot on him for the future. So he's a Fiorentina thing at the moment.